My family told me to stay away from my sister's wedding, the one I paid for because I had kids, so I canceled every payment. When the venue turned them down, they finally realized who was holding it all together. I'm 36, a stage actor at a small city theater, the kind of place where the seats creak and the curtain smells like dust and hairspray. I do plays, commercials when I can, and voiceovers for toothpaste ads at 2 a.m. I'm married to Mara, who works nights as a nurse. We have triplets, Eva, Nico, and Gia. They're 6. Our apartment has finger paint on the hallway walls and tape on the couch where someone made a boat. In my family, I'm the useful one, the one who can talk to people, be charming, host, get a discount, and lend until Friday. My sister Bianca is the golden one. She's 32. Marketing job, hair that never frizzes, a fiancé named Marco with cufflinks he calls statement pieces. Mom calls her our star. When Mom says I'm a star, she adds, but in your own way, like a patch on an old jacket. It was a Wednesday for 11 p.m. during my break between a matinee and evening show. I was backstage eating a banana with stage makeup still on my face. My phone buzzed. Family group chat, La Familia. The icon is a stock photo of spaghetti that Bianca said, and no one changed. Dad, stay away from the wedding. Just like that. All caps. No hello. He's not usually dramatic in text, but he likes control to sound like policy. 2 bubbles appeared. Bianca, LOL. Then the laughing emoji with tears. Then seriously, Leo, it's adults only, and the whole family is tired of you and your kids. She spelled "you're right" on purpose. Bianca always spells right when she's cruel. I stared at the screen. The hallway smelled like coffee from the stage manager's mug. Actors whispered lines in the wings. My thumbs hovered. I typed, "Then I'll stop funding the marriage." I looked at the sentence. It was a weird sentence to write to your sister, but it was true in a lot of small ways. Deposits, phone plan, venue, balance just for now. Streaming services. My Apple Pay shows it like a map of good intentions. I didn't hit send. I put the phone face down, heart in my throat. I could hear the audience settling on the other side of the curtain. Coughs, murmurs, programs rustling. I told myself, don't do money by text while wearing a wig. The stage manager walked by and tapped the 5-minute call. Places, she said. I slid the phone into my pocket. I went to stage left. My scene partner looked at my face. You good? He whispered. Yeah, I lied. Just family stuff. I took my mark. Lights up, applause. I hit my first line on muscle memory, but in my head I kept replaying Dad's text like a bad cue. Stay away from the wedding, like I'm a stain, like my kids are noise. The banana sat heavy in my stomach. When the scene ended, I went back to the dressing room and checked my phone again. More messages. Mom, Leo, let's not make drama. We just want a tasteful day. No kids, no chaos. Bianca, you can come to the reception if you promise to keep the triplets away from the dance floor. Marco, bro, it's not personal. It's branding. Branding. I typed, it's our family, not your content. Then I deleted it. I took a breath and sent only one message. We'll talk later. I didn't do anything else. Not then. I finished the show with a smile that felt stapled on. I let the audience clap. I took a bow. On the way home on the bus, I watched 3 teenagers share earbuds and thought about how every not personal comment is always personal. When I got home, the triplets were asleep in a tangle that looked like a spilled pile of laundry. Mara was at the kitchen table with her scrubs on eating cold pasta. I kissed her head. They said, "No kids?" I said. She didn't flinch. "Of course they did," she said. "What now? I don't know," I said. But I think I'm done being the quiet sponsor. You don't get a text like, "Stay away from the wedding" out of nowhere. You walk there for a long time on small stones. I grew up in a loud house where praise was a sport. Bianca won a lot. She did everything on time and out loud. I did things backstage. I built sets in the garage with scrap wood. I learned to paint fake bricks that looked real from far away. Mom would walk in and say, "That's nice, Leo, but don't get messy." Then she'd drive Bianca to another leadership event. Dad ran a locksmith shop when I was little. He liked saying, "We open doors." He liked the slogan more than the work. When business got slow, he rented out the brand to a friend of a friend and started working at a warehouse. He told everyone he still managed security. If you asked for help with a lock, he'd call me. By 20, I was doing community theater and barista shifts. Money was a maze. I loved acting, but it paid in applause and pizza. I started doing voice gigs and sometimes miraculously commercials. The first time I got a check for $1,750 for 30 seconds of smiling at a toothbrush. I cried in the bathroom stall at the studio. I sent Mom a photo of the check. She replied Bianca just got a raise. She added prayer hands. That's her idea of balance. Clapping with both hands for one kid. Mara and I met in an acting class. She was there to get better at speaking up in staff meetings. I was there because my landlord gave me $50 off rent if I taught a scene study on Thursdays. Mara laughed at my jokes and then fixed my resume. We moved in together in a one-bedroom above a nail salon. The triplets came like a surprise window you didn't know the house could hold. We became a team scheduled to the minute. Her nights, my rehearsals, daycare math like a chess game. We learned the art of passing the baton without dropping it. The money part with my family started small and temporary. 2018. Leo, can you put the family on your phone plan? You get a union discount, right? I did. 4 lines became 7. I added my parents and Bianca for 3 months. The bill became $216, then $248 when Dad needed more data, then $289 when Bianca added an Apple Watch. She sent me a heart emoji once. That was the thank you. 2019, we're short on rent this month. Can you spot us $400, Dad asked. I sent $400. He said, we'll pay you next week. Next week, mold grew. 2020. The pandemic canceled their venue. We need a new deposit to lock in the date for 2021. Bianca said, we'll pay you back when guests RSVP. I paid $1,200. Guests who aren't RSVP cannot attend and can't wait. No one RSVP with a wire transfer. 2021 cakes are expensive. Leo, you're good with people. Can you get a discount or just cover it and call it your gift? Bianca wrote, I called a baker. I got a discount. I also handed over my card. I called it a gift so I wouldn't have to count it. 2022. Dad's truck insurance jumped. They screwed me, son. He said I paid the difference for 3 months. Month 4, he forgot it was a favor. I kept adding little payments like thumbtacks on a corkboard. Gym membership for Dad's health. Spotify for Mom's cleaning groove. Canva for Bianca's wedding invites. A ring resizing emergency. I told myself it was a season. I told myself it was love. Love is patient. Love is quiet. Love sets up autopay and doesn't mention it. But little moments added up like receipts in a glove box. Bianca's bridal shower. No kids, she said, then posted photos of other people's kids in matching white. When I asked, she said, those are aesthetic kids. Our 3 are chaotic energy. A family dinner where Dad clinked a glass and said, a toast to Bianca and Marco, who worked so hard and deserve this. I lifted my water and said nothing. Marco winked at me like we had a bit. It wasn't a bit. The time Bianca announced in the group chat that she and Marco were optimizing finances and everyone should contribute something meaningful to the wedding. I replied, we already did the venue deposit. She wrote, that was a family gesture, not a gift. Family gesture means it doesn't count when we tally. The triplets aren't props. They're people. They spill juice. They tell jokes that make no sense. They call every black car a limo. They ask why they can't go to Aunt Bianca's big party. I said, because it's fancy. They said, we can be fancy. They wore capes over pajamas to show me. My heart hurt for both of us. In June, Bianca sent a spreadsheet to the chat labeled wedding tasks and dollar. Everyone had a column. Mine said MC the reception free, arrange vendor tips, use your card, we'll reimburse. Coordinate guest arrival, arrived 2 hours early. Mara's name had a row that read, keep Leo's kids off the dance floor. She doesn't like when people call the triplets Leo's kids like Mara is the babysitter. Mara looked at the spreadsheet and said, they don't see you the way you say, you're bleeding. I said, I know. I still didn't do anything. I kept rehearsing. I kept paying the phone bill. Then Dad's text hit on that Wednesday. Stay away from the wedding. Bianca's laughing emoji, Marco's branding, Mom's tasteful. My thumbs typed a sentence I didn't send. I went on stage and said someone else's lines. The next morning, I woke up to 13 messages and a missed call from Mom at 6:12 a.m. We don't speak at 6:12 a.m. unless someone's in the hospital. She wrote, think of the optics. Optics. I looked at our calendar covered in daycare times and costume fittings and Mara's night shifts. I looked at our checking account. $1,142. Savings $233.18. The wedding was in 9 days. My card was scheduled to auto-pay the venue balance on Friday, $1,600. Bianca's promise to Venmo tomorrow lived in a parallel universe. I poured cereal. Eva asked, "Are we invited to the big party?" I said, "We're always invited to our own kitchen." It wasn't enough. Mara put a hand on my back. "You're allowed to be done," she said, "even if it's 9 days before their fancy day." I nodded. I still didn't move. Love makes you slow sometimes. Fear makes you slower. I'm an actor. I can fake calm. It doesn't swipe the card for you. That night, I worked a gig reading stage directions for a casting workshop. $40 and a free granola bar. I came home at 10. The apartment was quiet. I sat at the table with the laptop and opened my bank. I looked at the auto-pay schedule like it was a script I didn't audition for. I closed it again. I wrote boundaries on a post-it because a therapist once said, "Writing the word makes it feel more possible." Then I set the post-it on my phone and went to bed. The rehearsal dinner invite arrived by email. "Please join us for a sophisticated evening." Attached was a PDF with a dress code, earth tones and address, and a note that said, "No children." We had already arranged a sitter. We put on our nicest brown clothes and drove. At the venue, a waiter offered Prosecco at the door. Mom hugged me like I had already apologized. Dad gave me a handshake that felt like a receipt. Bianca air-kissed near my cheek. Marco said, "We will have fun if you don't, you know," and wiggled his fingers in the air like ruin everything. I said, "I'm just here to eat chicken." Bianca clapped to get attention. "Before we begin, we'd like to thank family for stepping up," she said into a mic. Marco's parents for the rehearsal space. My parents for everything. My cousin Danny for the playlist, and Leonardo for emceeing the reception. She paused for claps. "We love your theater voice," she added like a tip. I hadn't agreed. I hadn't been asked since the spreadsheet. I stared at the microphone like a snake. Marco grinned and made a little bravo motion with his hands. I sipped my Prosecco and tasted metal. During appetizers, Mom sat next to me and leaned in. "About the kids," she said. "Please don't make a scene." "They're 6, I said. "They make scenes out of cardboard. We make peace." She frowned. "Don't be clever." "Then don't be cruel," I said softly. Her mouth turned into a thin line. "Bianca's day matters. Your feelings are not the main act." I laughed once. Small. "That's accurate." I said halfway through dinner, the venue manager tapped my shoulder. "Hey, Leonardo, the card on file for Friday's balance is yours. Just confirming." "Confirming what I asked, though I already knew that it's still good," he said. "We run it at noon. Balance is $1,600 plus service." "Congrats to your sister." I felt my face go warm. "I'm not the groom," I said. "And I'm not the bank." He looked confused and backed away. Bianca appeared like she had a string on him. "Don't embarrass us," she whispered. "It's just a hold. We'll move money. You have better points anyway." "Points," I said. "Am I your credit card or your brother?" She rolled her eyes. "Don't be dramatic." I went to the bathroom and locked the stall. I sat on the closed lid and stared at the tile. I could hear laughter through the vent. My phone buzzed. "Mara, you okay?" I wrote. "No," she wrote. "Then leave." I left the stall. I looked in the mirror at my earth-tone suit that wasn't our color. I saw my face with stage makeup residue in my eyebrows because I had changed fast. I walked back into the room, found Marco near the bar and said, "Take my card off the account." He blinked. "We're in the middle of speeches." "I'm in the middle of a boundary," I said. Bianca swooped in. "What now?" "My card is off your wedding," I said. "Also, I'm not emceeing." Heads turned. Mom stood up like she had a prepared speech in her bones. "Leonardo," she said. "Not tonight." "Exactly. Tonight I said quiet because the bill hits Friday. Silence in a room with music is a special kind of loud." Dad put his napkin down like a judge. "You agreed to help." "No, I said you assigned me to help." Bianca's cheeks went pink. "You're ruining my vibe. Your vibe is expensive," I said. "And it's paid for with my kids' shoes." Marco tried to joke. "Come on, bro, don't make me call the bouncer." This isn't a club, I said. And I'm not your bro. Mom's voice dropped into the tone that used to make me 12. If you walk now, do not show up Saturday. We won't have you there. I looked at Mara, who nodded once. I looked at my hands. They weren't shaking. That surprised me. I said clean and simple. This isn't about revenge. This is about closure. I walked to the front desk with the manager. Delete my card. I said he did. I watched him type. I watched him hit the key. The click was tiny and loud. Back at the table, I put my napkin on my plate. We're leaving, I said. We hope your day is nice. We won't be there. Bianca's jaw dropped. You can't do this, she said. I just did, I said. We walked out in the parking lot. I exhaled so hard my lungs shook. Mara squeezed my hand. You okay? No, I said, but I'm done. In the car, I opened the banking app. The autopays lived there like weeds. Family phone plan, Spotify, Canva gym insurance, top-up cake balance. I paused one, then another, then the last one. It took 10 minutes. My hands didn't shake. My phone lit up. The group chat blew up with, "And are you serious?" and Bianca's laughing emoji again. I put the phone face down. We drove home. The triplets were asleep, cheeks, sweaty hair stuck to their foreheads. I kissed each one. I thought I don't have to fund disrespect to have a family. I can just have mine. I expected quiet. I got fireworks. At 7:12 a.m., Dad called. I let it go to voicemail. He texted, "Is your card declining? Then call me now." At 7:19, Mom wrote, "They're saying the venue balance is unpaid. What is happening?" At 7:22, Bianca. OMG, did you really? Then a screenshot of a payment failure message with confetti emojis added like mockery. At 7:28, the venue manager texted me just confirming we removed your card as requested. The couple will need to provide a new method by 5 p.m. I replied, "Thanks." He sent a thumbs up like a human. By 9:10, I had 12 voicemails. Dad's first. "Son, if this is some stunt, fix it." Moms were mortified. Bianca's, "You're an embarrassment." Marco's, "Bro, chill then." Dude, seriously chill. At 10:03, the family phone plan broke into two. I called the carrier from the sidewalk while the triplets counted cracks. "I need to split my line," I said. The rep was kind. "We can move your 3 lines to a new account today," she said. "The others will need to set up their own." I said, "Great." She said, "People get mad about this." I said, "I can take it." At noon, Mom sent a long message with bullet points. She loves bullet points when she's furious. "You humiliated your sister. You used money as a weapon. You ruined the rehearsal. You will pay the balance today and apologize." I replied with 4 lines. I removed my card. "I won't MC. We won't attend. Do not contact my kids about this." She wrote unbelievable. Dad wrote ungrateful. Bianca wrote uninvited. Mara made sandwiches. I wasn't hungry. I ate anyway. The triplets asked if we were going to the fancy party. We said, "We're having our own party Saturday." They said, "With capes?" We said, "With capes." At 2:41, Bianca posted an Instagram story with Taylor Swift lyrics and a photo of champagne. One aunt commented, "Ignore the haters." Another wrote, "Fam over everything." I closed the app. I reopened it. I closed it again. I am a human. I make it worse for myself sometimes. By 4:30, Marco texted me a screenshot of a bank transfer from his parents. "Crisis averted," he wrote, then added a flexing arm. 10 minutes later, another text. "Except now the florist is asking for the final payment earlier. Can you spot it?" They know you. I didn't know them. I had gotten them business. I typed, "No." He wrote petty. I wrote nothing. At 6 p.m., Mom called Mara. "This is a classic move. Go around me." Mara put the phone on speaker. Mom started in a soft voice. "Sweetheart, help me understand why Leo is doing this." Mara said, "Because you told him to stay away from your wedding." Mom said, "We didn't mean it like that." Mara said, "How did you mean it?" Silence. Then Mom cried. Mara said, "We can talk after the wedding." Mom said, "So never." Mara said, "If you keep talking like this, then maybe." The next day, I turned to practical things. We created our own phone plan. We moved autopays for our life to a new card and canceled anything with family in the name. I sent 4 emails. To the venue, please direct all further payment requests to the couple. To the florist, I'm not involved in payment. Wishing you a nice event. To the DJ, I won't be MC. Please coordinate announcements with the couple. To Bianca, if vendors contact me, I'll forward them to you. The florist replied, understood. The DJ replied with a thumbs up emoji, and families, man. The venue replied, thank you. Bianca replied with, you're disgusting. Then another laughing emoji. She loves laughing when she's losing. The wedding day came. We woke up at 7. Eva asked, are we going to the party? We said we're going to the park. We packed grapes and a soccer ball and 3 capes. We took family photos on a cracked basketball court. The sun was kind. We were not dressed in earth tones. We were dressed like a box of crayons. Mara set up a Bluetooth speaker. We danced to a playlist named Household Bops. A stranger dog joined. The triplets screamed with joy. A couple on a bench clapped. At noon, my phone lit up. Group chat. Where are you? I can't believe you. They're asking the photographer to leave early because we lost time. The cake is late. We hate you. The messages stacked. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb and kicked a soccer ball to Nico, who kicked it back and fell over laughing. At 4 p.m., a cousin sent a photo of the wedding. It was beautiful. Bianca looked like a magazine. Marco looked like a hair product. There were no kids. The light was perfect. The caption said, family forever. I looked at the photo and felt a weird mix of anger and relief. I could miss something and still be okay. At 6 p.m. after the ceremony, the real meltdown started. The florist wrote me a message anyway. They're short on the tip envelope. Sorry to bother. I replied, I'm not covering it. 10 minutes later, Bianca texted, you're cruel. 30 minutes later, the DJ needs the run of the show. You were supposed to do it, I replied. Not available. She wrote, you think you're righteous, but you're just broke. I didn't reply. She called. I let it ring. She left a voicemail calling me small. I saved it in a folder named Weather. Hearing the storm helps me believe in the calm we chose. That night, our apartment smelled like pancakes and hairspray because the kids wore capes, and we did a home reception, which is a fancy name for putting a paper towel roll on a chair and calling it a microphone. The triplets gave speeches that were mostly robot noises. We laughed until our faces hurt. 2 days later, Dad asked to meet. We chose a diner. He arrived in a shirt too tight across the chest like he was trying on a younger man. He ordered coffee and sugar like it was a weapon. You made your mother cry, he said. She told me to stay away. I said, she didn't mean it, he said. She typed it, I said. He leaned back. We've done so much for you, he started. I put a small stack of printed bank statements on the table. I didn't shove them, I slid them. Highlighted lines. $1,200 deposit. $289 phone plan. $400 rent. $150 insurance. $80. Canva $64. Spotify $248. Cake 12 months of temporary bills. I said, I'm not here for an argument. I'm here to set terms for the future. He stared at the pages. He isn't good with numbers unless they favor him. You keeping score? He asked smug. I'm keeping boundaries, I said. I'm done being the quiet sponsor. If you want something from me, you ask, you accept my rate or my answer, and you don't go near my kids with threats. He laughed without humor. Rate. My time has value, I said. So does my peace. He stood up. You always were dramatic. I'm an actor. I said, it's my job, but this isn't drama, it's a policy. He left without paying. I paid. I can handle a $7 coffee if I don't have to fund a $1,600 balance. For a week, the group chat was a wildfire. Long messages copy-paste quotes about forgiveness, screenshots a weird meme from an aunt about wolves. I muted it. Mara and I did our life. I went to rehearsal. The director said, you're sharper this week. I was. I had energy left over from my work. The triplets noticed. Daddy, you're silly again. Gia said I didn't know I had stopped being silly. Bianca posted one more story with a black screen and white text. Some people show who they are. I thought, yes, they do. Silence followed. Not peace yet, but space. I used to think being a good son meant saying yes with my wallet and my time and my throat dry. I thought love was letting other people narrate my day and call it family. I don't think that anymore. My mother sends photos of centerpieces now with no caption. Sometimes I send back a heart. Sometimes I don't. My father texted last week garage keypad acting up. I replied, I can come Friday at 3. My rate is $95 per hour plus parts. He wrote, never mind. He hired a stranger. I slept fine. Bianca hasn't apologized. She might never. She still posts beige quotes about Grace. She still tags brands in her stories. We're not blocked. We're also not close. I mailed a simple wedding gift a month late. A plain set of everyday plates. No note, no card. They can eat on them or throw them away. Either choice is a choice. At home, we're quieter, not silent. Triplets don't do silent but quieter in my head. We made a budget that doesn't include family emergencies as a line you can't see. We started a jar labeled camp. The kids draw their initials on the jar with markers that stain. We put 5s and 1s in. They clap for a 5 like it's a miracle. It is, in a way.